similar. And
Well, I
they
can't
might
hear
have
myself.
similar molecules as well.
It's okay.
Because
Say something.
soap is
Hello.
partially made of water.
But is everything
There's
else
no
going to be
water in
heard?
oil, it's just
Huh?
water.
Are you going to hear the background?
Yeah.
Don't say anything if you don't want the internet to know.
Hello, boobies!
What? Are we live? We were live?
No, we're live.
Oh. Woo!
Oh my
This is
god.
weird. I can't hear myself.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to today's episode 8. I was telling you, brother, that we were in episode 6 or 7. I was completely off. But today's episode is going to be a bit strange. It's not your usual setting, but would you like to tell the folks where we are?
Oh yeah, of course. This is such a
Clashing of Worlds.
No, I just love all of this chaos. So we decided. Yeah, what happened to the light? Oh, what happened to the light?
I think it just turned off
Oh.
on its own. Just hold the white button. Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh.
So for the week,
yeah.
we decided that we were gonna head to the suburbs to visit my family. That is where we currently are.
Yep. Oh, that's all that you're gonna tell them?
Oh, I mean, what else do you want to say?
You just said suburb. You're not telling them where we are.
No, I'm not gonna reveal the.
No, you don't have to tell them.
I'm sorry.
We're in the suburb of Joliet and Ariana's home.
Parents' home.
Yes.
Yeah, this is where I grew up. Not much has changed, and I love it. It's so nostalgic being back.
Very homey.
Yeah.
Very warm.
Very, very warm. Because my brother has 2 daughters, so they're over here.
One of which made it to the stream.
Her hand, Leah.
If you're a watcher of Quit Playing, you'll also see that she made a guest appearance playing video games with us on Quit Playing. We went back to Smash because my partner and I were separated, but
Yeah,
to get further
she
details...
She was killing it on Smash.
She was. To get further details on, that show, go check that episode out and you'll understand why. But yeah, let's just jump in today's topic.
Mm-hmm.
Graphic design and illustration.
My world.
Your profession. Yeah. So why don't you tell the people a little bit of,
My history with it.
I was going to say, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions along the way, but I just wanted to sort of, I wanted you to touch on your profession, what credentials do you have?
Like my expertise, I guess.
Yeah.
I would would say I was exposed to Photoshop in the beginning in college.
Mhm.
No, not even before that. I would say mid-year of high school.
Mhm.
I just started to experiment with Photoshop. I noticed that you could draw digitally. Because starting off, I would use your typical paper and pencil, but it wasn't the same as drawing on. I have to speak up. Sorry, it wasn't the same as drawing.
Louder.
Louder? You're not even talking this loud.
You have to talk into the mic.
Oh, this mic?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe I should scoot closer to you.
If you want to scoot close to me.
Sorry.
It's not like we're husband and wife or anything.
So I didn't really find the connection with paper and pencil like my brother does. So I turned to.
But you do have. I feel like it's crazy how all of you sort of have this touch. So, like Leah, as you can see behind us, are some paintings
Some of her
the
paintings,
girls.
yeah, and she has her own, as they say, gallery in the hallway. My parents have hung up her artwork. They're everywhere, actually.
they
now
hang
that
up
I'm
your
looking
artwork,
at it,
too.
there's some in the kitchen. There's some in the
fireplace.
fireplace dining area.
The hallway.
There's some back here. I know there's some on the fridge, I think. Yeah. Creative runs in our family.
Yeah. I
Even
agree.
to the little one, Zoe. I feel like she's not as consistent with drawing as Leah, but she still likes to draw.
I feel like she's creative in her own ways.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So where did you go to school? What are some of the things that you've accomplished in school? And tell us a little bit about your history in school, whether it be college, high school, and sort of how you used art to, grow up, cope, so on and so forth. What did that do for you?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, I think I started getting into digital drawing. I wouldn't even consider it was graphic design because I wasn't familiar until I got into college. But initially I wanted to get into baking.
What?
Yeah, because
I think I
like
remember
to
you
use my
telling me.
hands.
Yeah.
So after high school, we were looking at what kind of career I wanted, and graphic design stuck with me the most. So I jumped into there, and I went to Lewis University in Romeoville. And I graduated 4 years, and I got my bachelor's in computer graphic design. But the funny thing is that one of the teachers, my graphic design teacher actually, he kind of let me do whatever I wanted. I mean, he had assignments, but he wasn't very strict, and there was pros and cons to that because I got to do whatever I wanted to create, which was mixed media. And that's where the title comes from, because I used to take self-portraits and then upload them to Photoshop and create something completely different to what it started.
Yeah.
So I mixed different mediums to create something entirely new. But the pro was that I realized that actually I was more comfortable with illustration than graphic design.
Even though you got your bachelor's in graphic design.
Yeah. But I've talked to a lot of people that say that, they were starting off with a certain
career choice in college.
Like you with nursing, but then you got into photography. Like it was the same for me. Like there are aspects of graphic design that I enjoy, but all in all, illustration is
what took your heart away.
Yeah, definitely.
Why don't you go into the closet behind us and show us a little bit of the inspiration that you gained from...
Oh, the comic books?
Well, now you ruined it,
Oh.
so never mind. You don't have to anymore. I'm supposed to be a surprise, but... so tell us where you gained a lot of your inspiration growing up, or some inspiration you find today.
I mean, I think a lot of people can say music is very inspiring, and that definitely inspires me. Listening to it, or even listening to it while I'm drawing. But a lot of my inspiration comes from anime or manga. Huh? Oh, sorry. Just from that world, Japan really has influenced me from a very young age to even till now. So I would definitely say those types of comic books or stories have really influenced my drawings.
Oh, Leah made a guest appearance.
And it's funny because Leah, I feel like she reminds me a lot of me. She reminds me of myself when I was her age. All the things that she was interested in, I was interested in, and it's so comforting to have that experience, with your niece or your nephew or someone younger, because
A family member or a loved one.
yeah, because then they point out different things that maybe you didn't notice when you were watching it, or you can just enjoy that moment together. And she doesn't pretend that she enjoys it. She really does enjoy watching anime,
Yeah.
reading manga. So it's definitely a strong bond that we've kind of built. Like, it kind of came together.
Yeah.
Like, because Enrique and I moved to Chicago, so I don't get to see them as much. But it kind of just developed on her own. And it's very exciting to see her grow, and I just love seeing all of her artwork everywhere. So hopefully you'll see a collab with Leah and I with our work.
Absolutely, that's beautiful. Yeah, because I feel like when people are passionate about things, I think it was the movie, my favorite movie, La La Land, where Mia was telling Sebastian, he's like, "What are you talking about? You don't even like jazz," and she said, "I do like jazz, and it's because of you." And earlier in that argument, they were saying, she said something along the lines of like, passionate people spread passionate ideas or something like that. Yeah, and
I agree.
it goes to show like whether it be your family, friends, spouses, loved ones, that if they're passionate about something, it really draws you into like, oh, okay, well, if they're really this invested in it, let me take a dive into it. And I love coming here because it's been fun watching some anime with the girls, especially one that we're familiar with and we like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. I definitely agree. And not only so music was one of your inspirations, but I also find that when it comes to mixed media, it's not just graphic design and illustration that you work on. You've been working on something else as well.
Oh yeah.
And you find really interesting, and I can't give too much away because you don't want anyone stealing these ideas, but essentially you're also finding like ways to go about these mediums.
Thanks, love. Yeah, the most recent my most recent what would you say?
Endeavor.
Yeah, my most recent endeavor has been embroidery.
This is true. Yep.
I can't say how. I think it's always been a thought in my head, an idea.
Well, then again, we did find each other. We did fall in love in a fashion company.
True, it's true. But I mean, we finally were able to get an embroidery machine with the help of our roommate, and from there, I've been just experimenting with the embroidery templates because they have their own designs built in.
Mm-hmm.
But the end goal is to recreate our designs through embroidery, whether it be on clothing.
Some of your graphic designs or illustrations on clothing. Right?
Yeah, that's the end goal.
Where do you find some of your inspiration when it comes to fashion?
Pinterest, Instagram, photography, fashion, photographs.
Is there any one in particular, like somebody in the fashion industry that stands out to you that you find inspiration from?
No, just because I'm not that familiar with like.
Not even the girl that messaged you.
Who?
I don't know, or liked your.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, those types of people, like obviously people that I follow on Instagram give me inspiration. But I don't have a specific person that I would say gives me the inspiration. Just anyone who kind of just does their own thing, who follows their own path.
You gain inspiration from?
Yeah, like there's no restrictions. They just dress themselves however they want.
Yeah, and does that come? Does that also apply as far as inspiration? Is there anyone that you find inspiration from when it comes to illustration or graphic design or anything like that?
To be honest, no.
Not even. Oh wow, we even talked about it in like 2 episodes. Our happy birthday
Oh,
to
Miyazaki, Sir Miyazaki.
Miyazaki. Yes. Which we watched a beautiful documentary on
yeah.
HBO. If you get a chance, go ahead and watch that documentary because it was such a beautiful piece and really took you inside of his life as an illustrator, and what he goes through to create these movies. I thought it was beautiful. What was the name of it? Do you remember?
I forgot what it was called, but it's on HBO.
It's on HBO. Go check it out. But yeah,
no,
you don't get
of
any
course.
inspiration from him.
Yeah, no, of course. But not as of recently. No, I watch his movies just to feel good. But I wouldn't say, not that he doesn't inspire me, but I don't feel like I feed off of his work.
And with your work, would you say like this is like a form of expression, or is there a message that you're trying to like convey to your audience or just to yourself? Because some artists do their work for themselves and try, whether it's dealing with trauma, whether it's coming up with a new look that's going to inspire them, like with any of your designs or any of your looks, any art form that you come across that you do, the 3 that we just spoke of, is it more so a form of expression, or are you trying to make a statement?
No, to be honest, it's whatever I'm feeling. When I was in school, we would have to give titles to our works, and I always titled them Untitled.
Untitled, yeah. Yeah, I thought you were going to mention that when we spoke about school, but you only mentioned you got a bachelor's.
What do you mean? Oh, that it's crazy. Yeah, my last year in college, I ended up winning the art contest that they have. It was totally left field, and I don't think it was my best work, but I mean that's just how it is. It was the best that I could provide at that time, and they saw that, and yeah, it was crazy because it was like a gallery setup, and you could see the other artists' work there, and just to know that mine was chosen when I didn't have my most confidence gave me the confidence boost that I needed. And yeah, it was incredible.
It's funny because we lightly touched on this too, and we didn't go too deep into it because the topic of discussion for that episode was something completely different. But that beautiful art piece that you made that happened to win you a contest fell from our bedroom wall.
Yeah, my mom gave me, it was framed, and it's been hanging up there for what, two or so years? 2+
years. I think 3 almost.
Yeah, and it recently just fell, so I have to replace
it.
The frame.
Bro, it was such a beautiful frame too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so sad because my first instinct, when I heard the noise, I was in the living room, and I immediately thought,
Milk. Our cat.
And then I run in there, I was like, what did Milk do? And she's like, no, the frame broke. And I was just like, what? She's like, it fell. And I was like, oh. Yeah, super sad. But hopefully in the next coming episodes, as we expand on our profession and continue this topic of discussion, we can definitely showcase that to show the world sort of what you've accomplished, because I would love to show that on that show.
No, yeah, and to go back on your question of what is my goal of creating these things, or what's my message?
Well, yeah, is it a form of
message.
expression?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely my feelings. Most of the time they are portraits of girls. Maybe
a couple of guys. You finally did some guys.
Yeah, because he kind of pushed me to it.
I was like, you could do it. Yeah.
But it could be like my alter egos, people who I would want to be, or an image of what I wished I could have looked like, or something like that. But yeah, there's no specific message or there's no rhyme or reason. I want the viewer or the one that is, you know, taking in my art to let me know what they
take away from it.
take away from it. Yeah, I don't want any type of label. That's why when it comes to the title,
You don't want to influence your viewers.
yeah, I want them to tell me what the piece
Says to them.
says to them. Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah, so you use more so your art form as a... Oh, beautiful. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, and wow, so this was actually... Oh my gosh, why don't you go up to the camera and show the people? So this is a photo of you. Okay, you can show the piece, but I would love to show your face and what you look like in college.
I'm such a baby
Oh,
now.
you're so cute. Go ahead, show the audience.
Oh, is it right here?
No,
oh.
the camera's silly.
Can you see it?
There you go. Back it up just a little bit. Yeah. You can see it for the most part. Back it up just a little bit. All right.
That's so funny. Oh my god, I look like such a baby.
Well, now you gotta show them with your face in it.
No.
Yeah, come on. You have to.
I remember.
Just show
this
the
like
entire
this.
photo.
Oh, there you
This is the love of my life, standing next to her art piece
go.
that she won with.
Courtesy of my dad texting me.
Oh my gosh. You're so cute. Beautiful.
But yeah, that was the art piece that won.
Nice.
It's a multiple portrait photos that I just kind of pasted together.
So you like to use your different art forms as a form of like escapism. You like to escape from your reality, because essentially that's what you do with these movies. When it either comes to Studio Ghibli or these animes, these mangas, it's sort of like an escape for the audience. And when you actually create your artwork, you actually like to escape into your artwork.
Yeah, that's true. That's completely
That's
true.
awesome. Do you have any like advice for fellow artists like yourself who are doing illustration or graphic design?
Yeah, like don't feel pressure to create every day, because it can be exhausting, and yeah, you're gonna have your ruts, but if you're really passionate about it, you know, it's always gonna be something that you go back to. And yeah, I always say, and I think a lot of people, you know, communicate that don't compare your work to others, because
For sure. No.
there are some amazing artists out there who took their journey, and you know their path has been taken from far back, and if you're just jumping into it, it's not gonna compare to it, you know.
No.
You're gonna have to go through those pieces of work that you may not necessarily love, but if you keep at it, you know, you'll eventually get to that plateau of where they are, and
Yeah.
you're gonna create some amazing things. And yeah, I'd say create it for yourself, you know, and don't do it to please people or what you think people are what's trending.
Yeah. Go against the
would say,
grain.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree, because even when it comes to my art form, you know, it's easy for me as a photographer to compare my photos to other fantastic photographers, whether they've been doing it for 15 years or just a couple months, and you just see a photo and just like, wow, I wish my photos were that vibrant, or I wish I could tell a story as beautiful as this one in an image, or same with videos and stuff like that. So I can agree to that. You know, don't compare yourself, because it's easy to compare, and that's no fun, because you'll only put yourself down. And yeah, don't wait. Don't create every day because of the pressure or because you feel you need to. By all means, it's important to stay disciplined as an artist, so you know, stay on top of it. But I agree, it's difficult, because sometimes, you know, as an artist myself, I've been in those ruts where I'm just like, I just don't know what to create. I can't create. I don't want to create, you know. There were so many excuses, X, Y, and Z, on why I couldn't or didn't want to, and I just did it, and now, luckily, I'm on the path where I don't really have many excuses not to create.
Create art to make it, not to make it. Aww, Rio.
That's so beautiful,
What
and
up,
that's
Rio?
so true. Thank you for tuning in, Rio. But yeah,
that's so
create
yeah.
art to make it, not to make it.
I completely agree, because even with you, like when you're not in that mindset to take a photograph, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get frustrated, and you shouldn't be putting yourself in that if you don't need to.
Or that's also true, but I
Well,
don't know.
also you could
flip that around.
flip that energy. And,
Yeah, because
push yourself.
for an example, when I got my new camera, the one that you guys are seeing us from now, I remember one of the first times it was like a really rainy night, and I was just like, yeah, let's go ride our bikes and let's go get photos. And I went with my sister Emma to go take photos, and I was just in a rut. I didn't want to take the photos, and I was very upset. Like, I wasn't able to accomplish the goals that I had set out for myself that evening. It was like motion blur and night photography.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came home and I looked at some of the images that I did take that night, I was actually surprised and really happy with some of the photos that I gained out, So I think it's important that, in the process of creating art, you can let your emotions get involved, because sometimes, your emotions sometimes will sort of translate in that
give you that boost that you think you may not think you need. But
right,
yeah,
but that's why I said maybe, not maybe, but it is important to stay disciplined as an artist, because you can't let those emotions then dictate whether you're going to create art or not. But yeah, any other advice that you would want to give artists or illustrators, fashion designers?
Yeah, I feel like everyone is an artist, and it's up to us to figure out what type of artist we want to be. From either a baker, fashion designer, illustrator, you create what you want, and as long as you love it, people will follow suit as well. If you're passionate about it, other people will be passionate about it, and it shouldn't matter the size of your following, as long as you're happy at the end of the day, creating whatever it is, because after all of this, it's what what type of footprint you want to leave in this world, and I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's what's most important. But I had to save my boy Rio's comment here because I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Well, it'll be left in the comments, won't it, in YouTube?
No, the live chat then disappears, and
okay.
it doesn't stay as comments. But thank you for everyone tuning in on today's episode.
Hey, Benny!
Hey, thanks for tuning in on today's show.
Wow, there's so much love today.
Yeah, we've been having a consistent viewership. I love it. Yeah, it's a bit strange this week's episode is definitely out of place, but I like it.
Yeah, I feel
it's different, but it feels homey.
Yeah.
Well, guys, until next time, where we talk about more art and we sort of discuss on where we're going to take the channel and our plans for the future. But
stay tuned. Stick with us, please.
We're your hosts, Live with Enrique.
Ariana Villalon.
And we'll see you next Tuesday. Peace, YouTube.